You can't make someone love you by giving them more of what they already don't appreciate. Often in my sessions with clients, I see this dynamic of that urge to keep on giving your love, your attention to somebody who is not interested in that kind of dynamic. Usually stems from that belief that we form or is sort of conditioned into us in early childhood, the belief that love needs to be earned. Obviously, this is a false belief, but so many of us grew up on that or were conditioned in this way, and therefore now in the adult life we also believe that by giving and giving and giving, one day this partner who doesn't appreciate us right now will have an epiphany and will start pouring that love that we crave and deserve back to us. So let me ask you this question, for those especially who did grow up with this conditioning that love is conditional and that you need to earn it somehow with your behavior. Let me ask you this. Do you finally feel that now in your adult life, you spent so many years earning that love from your parents, right? Do you finally feel that you are loved and that you are appreciated? So I just want to leave you with this example. So by now, I guess everybody knows that sugar isn't good for your body. It is one of the most toxic substances on this planet, right? And so just think about putting sugar in your body, even then when you know that this is not going to help you in any way. So giving your body something that it surely doesn't appreciate, but giving more, because imagine your body is actually even showing you the symptoms that toxicity is taking place, right? You have some kind of inflammation going on, you have all sorts of problems, and your body is actually showing you that this substance it really doesn't appreciate and actually doesn't even want it. But here you are, still putting more and more sugar in your body. So how does that make sense? If you're giving someone something that you don't or they don't appreciate, and they are actually showing you signs that they don't appreciate it, why do you keep giving it to them? That's the question. So perhaps it's time to honestly assess the dynamic that you are in your relationship, and if there is no balance of giving and receiving, it will eventually lead to feelings of resentment and maybe even, anger and depression and all that, because there is no balance. One person is literally bending over for a little bit of attention from somebody who is unable or unwilling to give it. And instead of really seeing it and accepting it, we tend to just continue in that subconscious dynamic with a false belief that this situation will eventually change when it most likely won't. And we spend our time with the wrong person, let's call it like that, instead of, admitting that scary thing to ourselves that, okay, this is not going to work, and perhaps I need to look into my own ways and into my own subconscious patterns, let's say, that keep me in this dynamic, even if I consciously understand that this is not gonna work. But it's different from understanding it or getting it and actually doing something about it. There is a big gap between those two. Okay, I get it, but I still continue doing the same stuff. Or, okay, I get it. Let me see how I can change that within myself. So actually, I'm getting out of that pattern and into a new, perhaps still unfamiliar situation where I can attract people who actually appreciate me, right? And people who are actually able to love me back. Because anyway, this is a fundamental need for all of us to be loved, to be appreciated, to be considered, to feel that we are important in this relationship, right? So let me know in the comments if this is a dynamic that you are experiencing or have been experiencing for such a long time that you can't even see it properly. It's like a fish swimming in the water and not actually seeing the water, right? It's so familiar that it's difficult to even sort of zoom out and see what's actually going on and what direction you are actually going, or is it leading somewhere where you want to go with your relationship. So all of this can be also changed. However, it needs to change from within you, right? It's not enough to wait for somebody else to change first. It's quite childish, let's say, to expect that, okay, within a relationship that hasn't shown any evidence of growth for a long period of time, right? So how can you be expecting just one day the sun will shine and everything will change? I mean, it's a beautiful illusion, it's a beautiful fairy tale, but fortunately, it's not quite a reality that we live in.